Forum tonight. More legal fireworks ahead following appeal court order on retrial of the Kano emirship dispute. The state government welcomes the judgment. The Arewa Consultative Forum expresses concern over the lack of patriotism amongst Nigerian leaders, urges them to inspire citizens to overcome tough times. International Organization for Migration and the European Union have pledged support for internally displaced persons in Benue State. And Los Angeles wildfire continues to rage on, with officials defending their response and intensifying search for victims.
And on business news, positive sentiment prevailed in the domestic stock market as bargain hunting in bellwether stocks propelled the all-share index up over 1% for the week.
And on sports news tonight, David Moyes makes a sensational return to relegation-threatened Everton as manager almost 12 years after leaving the Goodison Park outfit.
Relevant authorities, institutions and individuals have been asked to comply with the recent Court of Appeal judgment that resolved the long-standing dispute over the Emirate Council reforms. The Kano State government made this known during a media conference at the NUJ Press Center in Kano, where a delegation of top state government officials emphasized the need for strict adherence to the ruling. The Court of Appeal Abuja Division overturned earlier decisions by the Federal High Court and upheld the legality of the Kano State government's actions regarding chieftaincy appointments and restructuring of its traditional institutions.
Express our profound satisfaction with the judgment delivered by the Court of Appeal Abuja Division regarding the Emirate Council matter involving His Highness Khalifa Muhammad Sunusi II and other parties. The verdict overturns earlier decisions by the Federal High Court and validates the government's lawful actions regarding the chieftaincy appointments and reforms in the state's traditional institutions. This ruling reaffirms the government's commitment to justice, fairness, and adherence to due process in our efforts to modernize traditional structures while preserving the cultural heritage of Kano State. The judgment further clarifies the rightful jurisdiction over chieftaincy matters, underscoring the constitutional boundaries of the courts in such affairs. The decision by the appellate court to void previous judgments that questioned the state's lawful appointments underscores the correctness of our actions and strengthens our resolve to continue reforms for equitable representation and inclusive governance. For the avoidance of doubt, all decisions, pronouncements, and orders made by the Federal High Court Kano have been quashed and set aside by the Court of Appeal.
The National Publicity Secretary of the Arewa Consultative Forum, Professor Tuka Muhammad Baba, has expressed concern over the lack of patriotism amongst Nigerian leaders and elites. He mentioned this in Birin Kebbi while delivering a lecture at the 2025 retreat organized by the Kebbi State Office of the National Orientation Agency.
People might be seeing us as if...
It was a gathering aimed at charting a path for success in 2025 for the staff of the National Orientation Agency in Kebbi State. The guest speaker is the spokesperson of the Arewa Consultative Forum, Professor Tukur Muhammad Baba, and his lecture focused on the economic challenges in the country, calling for national unity.
Expression like I have mentioned in my speech.
He urges national leaders to prioritize honesty and integrity over the pursuit of popularity.
Believe me, things are difficult in Nigeria. Economy, highly challenging, insecurity, and on top of that, a government we don't believe in. More than that, more than half of the elites in Nigeria do not even believe Nigeria should exist. That is one of our problems in the country. We don't even believe in the country. I have lived in America, and one of the things an American will tell you is always America, America, America first. No matter what you do. Everywhere you go in the country, people build a house. The first thing they put there is the flag of the country.
A sociologist from the Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, the academician also called on opposition parties to adopt a more constructive approach in criticizing the government.
Please do this for the nation. Despite critics like you, like me, I'm at the forefront of criticizing this government as now the National Publicity Secretary of Area Consultative Forum. But I can tell you sometimes when I write release to praise the government, for example, the cooperation with Niger, for example, the AKK pipeline, when someone called me, why are you praising the government? I said, because it's on the ground.
In his remarks, the director of the Kebbi State Office of the National Orientation Agency, Mr. Nasiru Karofi, described the retreat as a crucial step towards ensuring the effective and efficient discharge of the agency's mandates.
With this retreat, we will be able to put together what we'll be needing to facilitate this job and to ensure that that weakness is turned to strength.
The agency is hoping to host robust engagement with traditional and religious leaders, as well as the media, to foster greater social cohesion across the states.
The emergence of a former lawmaker, Senator John Azuta Mbata, as the President General of Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide, has been lauded by the Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara. In a statement by his chief press secretary, Governor Fubara said Mr. Azuta Mbata's victory at the poll in Enugu State is a testament to his wide acceptance as an accomplished Nigerian with character and integrity. The Enugu State Governor, Mr. Peter Mba, has also congratulated the new leadership and expressed excitement over the peaceful process and outcome of Friday's election. He made this known when he received members of the new National Executive Committee of the group, led by the President General, at the Government House in Enugu.
Wish us to be in attendance with your colleagues, the governors of the other states or Igbo states, and was unprecedented in the history of Ohanaeze Ndigbo meetings. So, since we're all around, we haven't dispersed yet, we thought it might be appropriate to stop over, tell you thank you for your immense effort and support to Ohanaeze Ndigbo. You provided us the avenue for it. So, we thought we should extend our gratitude to you and through you to the government and people of Enugu State for what you have done and what you are touching to do.
We know you, we know your pedigrees, and we also know that both your leadership experience and your intellectual pedigree precede you. And so we have no doubt that the task ahead is one that you have the capacity to discharge. It is indeed an onerous task, and it begins now, knowing all the existential threats we are exposed to as Ndigbo. And I did describe in my metaphor of the arrow how strong we would be if we're able to constitute ourselves as a whole rather than just a single arrow.
As part of efforts to address the humanitarian crisis in Benue State, the International Organization for Migration is pledging to sustain its support for internally displaced persons. The IOM Regional Director made this known during a meeting with Governor Hyacinth Alia in Makodi, the Benue State capital. The governor said that over 6,000 internally displaced persons have been enrolled into the state health insurance scheme to address their health concerns.
on a daily basis. This is a delegation from the International Organization for Migration, alongside their partners from the European Civil Protection and Humanitarian Aid Operations. They are visiting the mega IDP camp in Makurdi, the Benue state capital. Governor Hyacinth Alia is leading them to assess the situation of the displaced persons, and the IDPs are elated to see them. The delegation moved the conversation to the Benue State Government House, where Governor Alia presents an overview of the humanitarian crisis in the state, as well as efforts to improve their well-being pending their resettlement.
Our state currently shelters 582,000 displaced persons, accounting for 38% of the displaced population in the North Central region. We have enrolled over 6,273 vulnerable individuals from 15 IDP camps into the Benue State Health Insurance Scheme, ensuring they receive essential healthcare services that are vital for their well-being.
The delegation seems impressed with the efforts and promises to sustain the support for the displaced persons.
My hope really is for Benue to find peace, for these intercommunal clashes to end. Benue also hosts not only almost 500,000 internally displaced persons, but also refugees from neighboring countries. So it's a country that is a state that has demonstrated in Nigeria a lot of willingness to welcome newcomers and to find solutions to live peacefully all together.
The way we fund our humanitarian response is through our partners, like UN agencies like IOM or NGOs. We do that because we know that they know better. The independence, the impartiality, the neutrality, and the humanity. And for me, especially the last one is important, the principle of humanity, because it's what pushes people to do this job. I mean, to work as a humanitarian, because we are brothers.
This meeting is one of the series of meetings that will lead to the launch of the Benue State Humanitarian Response and Durable Solutions on January 24, 2025, when the state government is hoping to commence the resettlement program for the displaced persons.
Residents of Okija in Hiala local government area of Anambra State have organized an interdenominational church service to pray for victims of the Christmas stampede that claimed 22 lives. The tragic event, which occurred on December the 21st last year during a palliative distribution organized by the O.B. Jackson Foundation, sent shockwaves across the country. The burial service was officiated by the Anglican Bishop of Hiala, Most Reverend Ralph Okafor, who consoled grieving families and encouraged the founder of the foundation not to be discouraged despite the devastating incident.
People are looking for whom to blame in every situation. But this is not time of blaming and criticizing unnecessarily and talking all kinds of things. But in everything we give thanks to God. Hallelujah. I say hallelujah. You will stop mourning because we don't mourn like those who have no hope.
The O.B. Jackson Foundation remains steadfast in supporting the families affected and the entire Okija people that have found themselves engrossed in this incident. This incident, I can tell you, has strengthened our resolve to ensure that such tragedies will never happen again.
In part two, after the break, President Bola Tinubu departs Abuja for Abu Dhabi for the 2025 edition of the Sustainability Summit. That's in a moment. Join us again. Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. More legal fireworks ahead following the appeal court order on retrial of the Kano Emirate dispute. The state government welcomes the judgment. The Arewa Consultative Forum expresses concern over the lack of patriotism amongst Nigerian leaders, urges them to inspire citizens to overcome tough times. International Organization for Migration and European Union pledged support for internally displaced persons in Benue State. And the Los Angeles wildfire continues to rage on, with officials defending their response and intensifying search for victims. Incidences of murder amongst car-hailing service operators in Lagos, the Commissioner of Police, Olariwaju Ishola, has asked drivers to search passengers entering their vehicles. Speaking during the parade of suspects arrested in the last 3 months at the police headquarters, Okija, Mr. Ishola warned the drivers not to carry more than a passenger and ensure that passenger sits in front.
Under the period under review, we have a case of Uber riders flagging the ride and subsequently killing the driver owner. Just 2 days ago, you see some 4 young men blindfolded. We did that because investigation is still in place. They hired a Uber man inside this Toyota Camry. They apprehended him, stabbed him to death. It was a chaos that alerted our operatives. 4 of them flagged down a ride and killed the driver of the Uber. I would like to tell Lagosians, especially people involved in this Uber thing, Taxify, Lag Ride, and all these stuffs, be wary of your passengers. If it's possible, don't carry more than 1 passenger at a time and insist such a fellow is searched and make him sit at the front with you. This is just the third of its kind, reported or we detected in 3 months. We don't know how many that have happened. And such are the cases of brutalities around us now.
President Bola Tinubu has left Abuja for the United Arab Emirates, where he will be attending the 2025 edition of the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, which will take place from tomorrow, January the 12th to the 18th. The president was seen off to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by his Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, the APC National Chairman, Mr. Abdullahi Ganduje, the House of Representatives Chairman, Committee on Defense, Babajimi Benson, as well as other top government officials. At the event, President Tinubu is expected to stress his administration's reforms, including bills related to energy efficiency, sufficiency, transportation, public health, and economic development. He will also meet with the Emirates leadership to discuss issues of interest affecting both nations and is to return to Nigeria on Thursday, January the 16th. To health matters now. In Borno State, 3 health sector boards have been inaugurated by the governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, to oversee a comprehensive overhaul of its healthcare service delivery. This is in continuation of the current administration's drive to attain universal healthcare delivery in all parts of the state within the shortest possible time.
The newly inaugurated boards are State Hospital Management, Primary Healthcare Development, and the State University Teaching Hospital Management Board. This follows infrastructural and facility development undertaken in the healthcare sector across all resettled communities in the state.
Because of the insurgency, we don't have more than 10.
Inaugurating the different boards at the council chambers of the government house in Maiduguri, Governor Babagana Zulum outlines his vision for the health sector, directing reforms to address issues such as inadequate facilities, insufficient staffing, and lack of essential medical supplies in some health facilities.
As we inaugurate the board members of these critical institutions, we reaffirm our unwavering commitment to providing quality health services to the people of Borno State. Distinguished guests, the Borno State Hospital Management Board establishment law empowers me under Section 4, subsection 1 to appoint the chairman and members of the board. This board is mandated to generally administer, control, and manage all hospital services in the state. Additionally, to ensure that standards and quality of healthcare services provided are controlled by the board is also responsible for providing information and advice to the Borno State Ministry of Health and Human Services to facilitate the development of realistic state health sector policies and plans, amongst others.
Elaborating on the deliberate efforts on infrastructural and human resource investment of the Zulum administration, the State Commissioner for Health says the state lost 45% of its workforce and infrastructure during the height of the insurgency. He admits the current number of health workers in the state is grossly inadequate to meet the growing population.
At the moment, we have about 148 doctors in the state, and this is not sufficient to look after 7 million people, and therefore we have to improve on our human resources for health. At the moment, the Primary Healthcare Board has about 1,746 staff in their payroll who are level 6 and above. This includes JCHUs, CHUs, and also doctors, nurses. And therefore, it's not sufficient for us to attain universal healthcare coverage with this number of staff.
Current Chief Medical Director of the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, Professor Ahmed Ahijo, is appointed chairman of the board.
First, we have to thank you for the confidence that you repose on us to do this service for the benefit of humanity. Because hospital or healthcare service may not necessarily be limited to Borno State. Anybody that comes into this community, and people are purposely referred to this place, so it serves everyone. An NGO person may come from America and he will fall sick and will be treated in our facilities. So it's for everybody. And we assure you, sir, will give our best. The caliber of people that you have chosen to serve on these boards, we will work, if not close, at least we'll do significant to your expectation.
In the recently assented bill of Borno State, the government allocated 15.39% of the budget to the health sector in the year 2025.
It's a similar scenario in the Plateau, but this time the state government is looking at tackling child mortality and addressing maternal health challenges. The Deputy Governor, Josephine Apio, stated this at the Immunization Plus and Malaria Progress Ceremony, which took place in Jos, the Plateau State capital. She added that the government is renovating primary healthcare facilities across the 17 local government areas of the state.
Stakeholders, including government officials, healthcare agencies and development partners, gather to discuss the strategies for improving the Plateau State healthcare system. The state government is committing to improving primary healthcare facilities across the 17 local government areas of the state, and the Deputy Governor calls on stakeholders to remain committed to improving healthcare services in the state.
As a government, our priority is to equip the primary healthcare centers across the state to ensure citizens have access to quality health services at at an affordable rate. It is in this regard that the time is now administration and the World Bank awarded contracts for the upgrade of 82 primary healthcare centers across the 17 local government areas of the state.
Through the Immunization Plus and Malaria Progress Project in the state, free malaria testing and treatment for children under 5 years have been made available across healthcare facilities in the state.
The three components of the IMPACT project, which includes malaria control, immunization uptake, and knowledge for change, they need for them to go back to every community that you're coming from and to preach to our people that when a child is sick under 5 and have fever, let the child be taken to the hospital and get the child tested, because most of the facilities, about 4 and 6 facilities across the state, have free treatment for malaria and free testing for malaria. And that why is it that when a woman is pregnant, some of them do not go to seek for antenatal clinic, and most of them that even go to seek antenatal clinic not end up giving birth in the hospital. They give birth at home. And as a result of that, it has yielded to the increase in the number of maternal mortality, and not taking the children to go and get tested and giving them anti-malaria. It has yielded to the increase in the death of under 5 children. So we want to put an end to that.
The meeting underscores the critical role of collective action in transforming healthcare delivery and ensuring quality healthcare delivery to citizens, particularly in the rural areas.
More health stories in Imo State, where over 500 vulnerable persons in Olu local government area have benefited from the free medical outreach organized by a United States medical group under the aegis of the Olu United Medical Center 2025. According to the facilitators, the gesture is to ensure that people in rural communities have access to quality medical attention that is obtainable anywhere in the world.
Marked the opening of Olu United Medical Center, and we did that to sensitize the community, to let them know that there is a high-quality hospital built for them here in the rural area, with the inspiration that life in the rural area matters. Our people doesn't have to go to abroad anymore, and for those who cannot afford to go to abroad for medical care, we brought it home for them, and that's the purpose. We screened the patient that came. We asked them about their health condition. They completed the health screening. So if you have high blood pressure, we put you on a boat for high blood pressure people, and diabetes, and arthritis, and prostate cancer, and pregnancy, and all of them. So different and eye problem. So different doctors from different specialists went and attended different patients with different health conditions.
The wife of the Zamfara state governor has promised to sponsor breast cancer surgeries for 100 women. The surgeries will be conducted at the State Specialist Hospital in Gusau, the state capital, which is already hosting free breast cancer screening, courtesy of the wife of the governor. The chairperson of the Women's Doctors Association in Zamfara State, Dr. Khadija Kanoma, explains that the initiative is part of efforts to improve women's health in the state.
The purpose of this surgery is to prevent breast cancer, because breast cancer is the commonest cancer among women worldwide, including here in Zamfara State. So October is a pink month where we organize awareness. So with our awareness, we're able to meet Her Excellency, the First Lady of Zamfara State, which she promised to sponsor 100 women to be screened, and also to have lumpectomy surgery, and also to give treatment, and also histology free. So today is the day we're starting the program. As you can see the number of women. It's going to be a 3-day program. So today we're starting with 40 women. We'll do 40 surgeries today. Tomorrow we do 30 and on Sunday we'll do 30. So we're going to screen them. After screening, we'll now do the surgery. Once we fill the lump, we'll do the surgery. After removal, we'll now give her some pain relief and also antibiotics to prevent infection. Then also the sample also will be taken for histopathology.
Still ahead on the news at 10, positive sentiments prevailed in the domestic stock market as bargain hunting and bellwether stocks propelled the all-share index up over 1% for the week. That's on Business News. Join us again. Welcome back. Perfecting plans to unlock Gombe State's agricultural potentials by leveraging on the vast water bodies that abound within its shores appears to be what the state government is doing. Now, one of which is the Balanga Dam, constructed in 1984, which has the potential to cultivate 11,000 hectares of land in dry season farming and make critical contribution to the overall food security agenda of the federal government.
This is Balanga Dam, a gift of nature, beautifully nestled in the majestic mountains of Balanga local government area of Gombe State, Nigeria's northeast region. Its bubbling river, a historic home for fishing, transport and tourism, as its life-giving springs power villages in an all-year-round farming activity, creating thousands of jobs. With natural tributaries forming this dam, structures were built around it and officially commissioned in 1984 to scale up irrigation farming in the area to 11,000 hectares. But with the dam performing below its intended capacity, the Noah Yahya government says it is planning to get more from it.
This dam has the potential to cultivate about 11,000 hectares of land, but less than 2,000 was being utilized, so you can see what I'm talking about. The dam has its own challenges with respect to the canal. The canal is about 15 kilometers, and only 5 kilometers has been concretized. So the remaining 10 kilometers is not. So the flow of water is very slow. And as I'm telling you now, with the effort of His Excellency, the agricultural project this year are going to commence the restoration of the canal. The remaining 10 kilometers that have not been concretized, they will ensure that the concrete has been put there. And what that means is that if it takes like almost a whole day for water to flow from the dam to the command side where the irrigation takes place, now it will just take some few hours. And what that means, again, we have more land to cultivate. So I'm very sure in the not long distant future, we'll be able to get to that 11,000 that we've been always saying is on paper.
In 1980s, how does someone know that this kind of...
This is Professor Daniel Uye, a researcher in smart agriculture and a faculty member, Biosystems and Agricultural Engineering, Michigan State University. He believes that Gombe State has what it takes to spark off an agricultural revolution that can feed West Africa.
I can tell you that Gombe is taking all the right, I want to say beyond the right steps. They are not only taking the right steps now, they are taking steps of centuries to come that would make Nigeria have a turnaround. And the good thing is, with His Excellency taking time to visit Michigan State University and meeting with the leadership and other faculty working in different areas, Gombe State would leapfrog with what all the actions I have seen the governor is taking here would not only feed Gombe State, but will have the potential to export food in the nearest future.
Touring Balanga and Dadinkowa dams, irrigation sites, local and modern rice processing plants, and the Muhammadu Buhari Industrial Park, Professor Uye lauds the visionary strides of the Noah Yahya government in promoting smart agriculture.
I saw a factory that has the capacity of 450 tons a day. That is a potential to export rice out of Nigeria, not just Gombe State. You know, back in Michigan State, where I come from and where we work, we have the harsh winter, which gives us a room of 3 to 4 months to grow food. But here we can cultivate crop all year round, 12 months. And then with water, if you can cultivate 3 rounds of rice paddy, that can feed that factory of 450 tons a day. And if you do the maths in your head of 450 tons of rice being produced a day, 365 days a year, that is the low-hanging fruit for Gombe State. It will create direct, indirect jobs. It will create revenue from the government, from taxes. It would open up a lot of other economic activities, and would keep everyone busy in this state.
The people of Balanga seem to be positively aligned with plans of the Noah Yahya administration to modernize the dam.
People of Balanga are very much eager to see the progress of Balanga Dam irrigation, because most of our youths now are running away from our villages. Why? Because they were used to farming in the irrigation time. But now they have taken up to 3 to 4 years no irrigation. All of them were just stagnant. They are not doing anything.
It will generate more than 10,000 youth. It will engage them, this particular dam you are saying. Not only the irrigation they are talking about, but also the fishing activity, the recreational activity that it will generate and will attract. It will engage 10,000. So we are not talking about only people here in Balanga local government.
The Noah Yahya government says it is also exploring partnerships with relevant stakeholders to inject multi-billion-dollar investments into the Balanga Dam.
The decline in trade volume at the popular single market in Kano is generating concern amongst traders and consumers. The market is a major commercial hub for the sale of groceries in northern Nigeria, including some neighboring African countries. The traders identify fuel subsidy removal, foreign exchange, zero local manufacturing as just a few of the reasons for the drop in trade. Our correspondent Abubakar Saliu reports.
The 40-year-old Singa Market is situated in the heart of Kano Central Business District and derives its name from a sewing machine company which occupied the present location of the market years back. Daily, over 50 trucks arrive at the market to load and offload goods from different parts of the country. The market witnesses a surge on Saturdays especially. Processed household consumer items are the major goods on sale at this market, and there is no shortage of consumers. Nevertheless, the traders believe the trade volume is dropping due to some economic policies.
Economic policies negatively affect our businesses. Most of the businesses are down this time around because of the drastic, inflations that we have experienced. So the prices of produce in the market have been skyrocketed, whereby a businessman can sell a truck and that money cannot buy a truck again.
Some of the goods from the markets are manufactured in the southern part of Nigeria and delivered as far as some West and Central African countries. However, there is no effective freight forwarding mechanism in the country.
So actually, the peculiar challenges we are having is, most of the companies that are manufacturing the produce that we are selling in this market are from southern part of the country. Sometimes we encounter a lot of maybe high price of transportation from Lagos or from Port Harcourt to Kano.
For the dealers, steps should be taken to address the situation because of the impact on the purchasing power of their customers.
Definitely, there are surges in prices, and which led to affordability issues. And I can tell you that not only tripled, I think most of these products within 1 year, the prices have surged that it has even not multiplied, but it has tripled their prices. And, the people's income has not really been increased.
Since the beginning of this government, we know that
government has removed the fuel subsidy. That has led to the increment in the prices of almost all essential commodities.
The situation is causing concern among retail traders in the market, who express fears that they could be forced out of business.
The situation is deteriorating every day. There is no control in the market. Prices of commodities are steadily going up. Our businesses are negatively affected.
For the consumers, government at all levels should take the necessary steps to address the situation and improve the purchasing power of Nigerians. Bubakar Salihu, Channels Television News.
In response to recent agitations by the academic staff of Saudu Zunge University, Bauchi State, Governor Bala Mohammed has inaugurated a high-level visitation panel to address the issues at the institution. The panel, chaired by Professor Gambo Abdullahi, is tasked with investigating the cause of the recent industrial action by the academic staff, reviewing its financial operations, and developing a framework to ensure effective and smooth operations. During the inauguration, Governor Mohammed asked the panel to utilize their expertise to achieve results and submit its report in 6 weeks. The Ogoni community in Rivers State says it eagerly anticipates the President's assent to the bill establishing the University of Environmental Technology. The proposed institution is supposed to be a specialized institution focused on addressing environmental challenges. Stakeholders express hope that the bill will be signed soon. Our correspondent, Deborah Agbalama, has this report.
Some concerned people from various local government areas in Rivers Southeast are here to be a part of Senator Barinada Mbigi's presentation of his account of stewardship.
The University of Environment and Technology that was just passed by the both arms of the National Assembly.
He begins with a detailed account of his efforts to push for the bill establishing the University of Environmental Technology in Ogoni land, in addition to the distribution of 250,000 naira each to 100 postgraduate students, plus other empowerment.
Even we have seen you participate in this program, subsequently, your utilization, proper utilization in this scheme will still make you benefit from the next scheme. As we launched the 1 billion naira entrepreneur scheme that will kick off in January, we expect that about 1,000 millionaires will be raised in the Rivers Southeast Senatorial District.
A PDP chieftain, alongside recipient of the senator's grant, commend him for his commitments to human capital development.
We are grateful for what you are doing for our people. What is the reward for a work well done? They told him it's small work. From this senatorial district, we know you are not done with you. We know you are still working, and we know we are expecting more from you.
For the noble gestures given by distinguished Senator Barinada Mpigi, it is a thing of joy that the emancipations of the Ogoni Postgraduate Association have come to pass, have come to stay rather, because this is going to take us to a very high extent, and we believe that it will continue.
Addressing journalists on the sidelines of the event, Senator Mbigi elaborates more on his hope for the President's assent to the bill establishing the University of Environmental Technology.
This bill was committed to the Senate in some last year, but unfortunately the former President did not sign. But right now, it has been passed by the both chambers of the Senate, awaiting Mr. President's assent. And the Ogonis will pass through a lot of hazard. We've passed through a lot of trouble, and I expect the present president to sign. It was one of the campaign promises he did make to the Ogoni people, because we still expect more votes to come in 2027. And I can assure you, all the leadership of the Rivers state that is in Abuja, and of course South, sitting from my Senate president, they are all in support that Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should give assent to this bill.
Senator Okija, who also serves as a chairman Senate Committee on Works, provides an update on why the Eleme-Ogoni axis of the East-West Road hasn't been completed.
Construction is not something that you can just wake up and say, let there be light and there will be light. It has to do with finances. It has to also do with construction, depending on the materials available. For now, what I wanted and what I intended, I've been able to wake up Mr. ROCC that is handling this project, and they are totally ready to continue this project. But I can reassure you that this project is standing the test of time and is one of the modern construction technology that is available.
The lawmaker assures his constituents that he will always push for legislations that will improve the living standards of his people. Deborah Agbalama, Channels Television News.
The Niger State government has launched the Emblem Appeal Fund for the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration with a sum of 50 million naira. Governor Umaru Bago launched the emblem at the Council Chamber Government House in Minna, the state capital, where he gave assurances that his administration will continue to support the Nigerian armed forces to ensure they continue to give their best for the peace and stability of the nation. The event climaxed with the emblem decoration on the governor, who is also a patron of the state chapter of the Nigerian Legion.
My singular role today is to declare this emblem launch open. As such, the government and people of Niger State have heard you clearly, the chairman of the legions, with your request, and we are putting 50 million naira to the legion system. So with that money, we expect that you buy your vehicle for the chairman, you buy the vehicle for other members. So Niger State government and the government and people of Niger State have launched the 2025 Armed Forces emblem with a sum of 50 million naira.
Now let's find out what's happening in the world of business. Laddie Williams has all those details.
Thanks, Melinda. Well, we'll begin with the financial regulator. The Central Bank of Nigeria has issued a directive barring local currency deposits into the newly established non-resident Nigerian ordinary account and a non-resident Nigerian investment account. Specifically, they were designed to serve Nigerians living abroad. The directive aims to streamline foreign currency inflows and encourage diaspora investment into Nigeria. The CBN emphasized that the accounts will offer greater flexibility for non-resident Nigerians to diversify their investment option while contributing to the nation's economic growth. To ensure compliance, the CBN has outlined strict guidelines for the fund transfers. Transfers from these accounts to domestic accounts within Nigeria will be permitted only in Naira. Notably, local currency transfers into these accounts will not be allowed except for funds linked to approved investment proceeds. The Nigerian stock market roared into the first full trading week of 2025, extending its winning streak. The benchmark all-share index surged by 1.80%, propelling the market's total value to 1.13 trillion naira gain. This bullish sentiment was fueled by sustained investor appetite for high-flying equities. Sectoral performance painted a largely negative picture, with gains in just the banking counter, while the insurance sector emerged with the biggest loss of over 6%. Multiverse Mining and Exploration PLC led the pack of 51 gainers, recording an impressive 53% price appreciation. While the market celebrated these gains, a pack of 39 laggards, led by Suno Assurance of Nigeria PLC with a 36.52% decline, experienced a dampened week. Trading activity remained robust, with a total of 4.61 billion shares exchanging hands, driven by strong performances from Wema Bank PLC, FBN Holdings PLC, and Universal Insurance. And the NSE over-the-counter securities market concluded the week on a positive note, with the index climbing 0.71% week-to-date. This uptick was driven by gains in several high-value securities, pushing the market capitalization to 1.05 trillion naira. Trading activity witnessed a surge, with trading volume rising over 30%. This was accompanied by a dramatic increase in trading value, exceeding 60%. Furthermore, the number of transactions executed this week surged by 100%, reaching 14 deals. And oil prices rallied over 3% to their highest in 3 months for the week as traders braced for supply disruptions from the broadest U.S. sanctions package targeting Russian oil and gas revenue. Obviously, Brent crude futures there settled at $79.76 a barrel, about 3.7% for the week, while U.S. WTI grade, that's $76.57 a barrel, 3.58% up for the week. That's also a 3-month high. And according to analysts at Wells Fargo, the challenges that affected commodity prices in 2024 are shifting, and these factors could now boost prices as we enter more into the new year. Last year, higher interest rates and economic uncertainties put pressure on commodity prices during the first 3 quarters. However, the situation began to improve in the fourth quarter. The analysts noted that commodities saw a small increase in value, with the Bloomberg Commodity Total Return Index rising 4.5% by December 26. Despite strong supply conditions supporting higher prices, global economic challenges held back demand. And analysts believe demand will improve in 2025, potentially driving commodity prices higher. However, they warned that supply side could be a concern as many producers have cut back on production after 2 years of weak prices. If demand recovers quickly, there may be supply shortages. The analysts are particularly optimistic about precious metals like gold and energy, expecting both to rise by at least 10% in 2025, outpacing the broader commodity market's performance. All right, that's it for me in business. I hand things back over to Melinda.
Many thanks, Ladi. And for the latest from the world of sports, here's Olumide Makori.
Welcome to Sports News. We begin with football. In the UK, David Moyes says it was an easy decision for him to return to Everton after becoming their manager for a second time. Moyes has signed a 2.5-year deal to replace Sean Dyche and come back to the club he managed for 11 years and more than 500 games. Everton have only won 3 league games this season and just one of the last 10, and Moyes, who walked into relegation battle when he joined from Preston in 2002, faces another. His first game in charge is against Aston Villa at Goodson Park on Wednesday, January the 15th. In the English FA Cup, James McAtee scored thrice as Manchester City trashed Salford 8-0 to reach the 4th round. Trent Alexander-Arnold's stunning strike led up Liverpool's 4-0 win over Accrington Stanley to cruise into the 4th round. Chelsea cruised into the 4th round as well with a 5-0 demolition of Morecambe at Stamford Bridge. Nottingham Forest defeated Luton Town 2-0 to extend their winning run in all competitions to 7 matches. AFC Bournemouth came from behind to beat West Brom and move into the 4th round as well. Brighton defeated Norwich City 4-0 to book their spot in the 4th round. Lowly Plymouth knocked out Premier League side Brentford, while Leicester City edged Queen's Park Rangers in an 8-goal thriller to reach the 4th round. Staying with football, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta says he is impressed with the significant tactical changes in Manchester United under the leadership of Ruben Amorim. Arsenal will host holders Manchester United in the FA Cup 3rd round clash on Sunday at the Emirates Stadium tomorrow, having already defeated them in the Premier League this season. Arteta, however, believes Manchester United had changed as a team since the two sides met over 5 weeks ago. Meanwhile, the Manchester United coach, Ruben Amorim, has emphasized the importance of winning the FA Cup, stating that he will field his strongest team in the 3rd round tie against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium tomorrow. Amorim acknowledged that the team is currently going through a difficult period, but expressed confidence in their ability to improve. The 39-year-old Portuguese says he is determined to secure victory in North London before turning his attention to the team's next fixture. And that's it on Sports News. Melinda, back to you.
Many thanks, Olumide. On the international scene, as the blaze continues to spread across Los Angeles City in California, a fresh evacuation order has been issued for the residents. California's governor has called for an independent investigation into how critical fire hydrants ran out of water and impaired the fight against the Los Angeles area wildfires. The mandatory evacuation order covers Sunset Boulevard North and spread to other areas. At least 11 people have been killed in the fire so far, and it's estimated that more than 10,000 homes and other structures have been destroyed as a result of the incident. Sierra Leone has reported its first confirmed case of Mpox since the world's highest alert level for the disease was raised last year. The country's health agency confirmed the case on January the 10th without specifying the variant. The 27-year-old infected man is from the rural district of the Western Zone near the capital, Freetown. Health teams are currently tracing and investigating potentially exposed persons to contain the spread. Mpox is caused by a virus from the same family as smallpox. And the main news again. The Kano state government today said it welcomed the appeal court order on the real trial of the long-standing emirship tussle. The state attorney general and commissioner for justice disclosed this at a media briefing in Kano. We also told you that the Arewa Consultative Forum has expressed concern over the lack of patriotism amongst Nigerian leaders. The National Publicity Secretary of the group, Professor Tukur Mohammed Baba, raised this concern in Birin Kebbi while delivering a lecture at the 2025 retreat. And the Los Angeles wildfires have continued to rage on as officials defended response and intensified search for victims. That's the news at 10 tonight. I'm Melinda Akinlami on behalf of the team. Good night.